It's Mother's Day next week, so today we are going to be making a cactus garden cake. I am going to make a garden themed cake today, but I'm going to use succulents. These two plants are the only plants I've been able to keep alive in my entire life. Something supernatural is keeping them alive. So we're going to be using some of these as inspiration when we make our succulents. But today what I've done is I've actually baked 3 of these 8-inch chocolate cakes. I've made a chocolate cake recipe on my channel before, so go check that out to bake these. You'll need to make 2 batches to make this particular cake. The first step is colouring and flavouring our buttercream frosting. So here I've got some Swiss meringue buttercream frosting. You can grab the recipe for that on my website. We're going to colour it with some pink food gel. This is deep pink. I use this particular brand is Chef Master, but I also use AmeriColor as well. We're going to be using some raspberry jam or jelly. I don't know what you guys call it in America. I can never figure out the difference. But you can use raspberry flavouring as well if you prefer. You can get some clear ones and you can get ones that have colour in them as well. So you want to pour your jam into your frosting and add a couple drops of pink food gel. You're going to use a hand mixer. Start off on low speed just to kind of give it a bit of a mix. Then you want to go up to medium speed until it's really well combined and coloured. So like I said earlier, I have baked 3 of these 8-inch chocolate cakes. We're going to trim these and then we're going to fill them and crumb coat them. So let's give them a trim, and then we're going to be left with 2 cake layers per cake, so 6 all up. I've got my cake spinny thingy here. It's going to help us crumb coat and fill this cake. I've got my grip thingy here. I don't know what these things are called. We're going to pop the grip thingy on the cake spinny, and we're going to add an 8-inch cake board on top. So you can use a bigger one. I like to use the same size as the actual cake so that it's not showing when we finish decorating our cake. So we're going to pop that on top. So we're going to add a blob of buttercream frosting on top of our cake board. Just use an offset spatula to kind of spread it around a little bit. That's going to act as a glue on our first layer of cake, so it kind of doesn't slide around, it stays in spot. Then we're going to pipe a ring of frosting around the first cake layer. We're going to fill that up with some more frosting. Use a offset spatula to spread that frosting as evenly as you can. And then we're going to pop the next layer of cake on top. You want to repeat that until you get to the top layer. And then you're going to add a little bit more frosting on the top layer, some around the sides, kind of roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to use an offset spatula to spread it around the sides and the top. Then we're going to use a bench scraper or a cake scraper to scrape the excess frosting around the sides. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just get it as neat as you can. The next step is making our buttercream succulents or cactuses. So I've got a couple here. I actually experimented with them last night. So I'm going to show you guys how to make my favorite ones. But the key here is, guys, to just kind of experiment. I'm going to go through some of the tools and equipment I use to make them, and we're going to make them together. But I'd encourage you guys to just kind of use your imagination and see what you can come up with. So you want to start by colouring your buttercream frosting. So here I've got some American Buttercream frosting. You can grab the recipe for that on my website. So we're going to be making some teal, kind of a lime green using some yellow and teal. We're going to be making a pink using pink food gel, kind of like an orange pink colour using yellow and pink. And finally, we're going to be making a purple using purple food gel and pink food gel. So you just want to mix those up really, really well. Okay guys, so the first one we're going to be making is this cute little teal cactus. It's kind of like a bulb cactus. We're going to be using a large French star tip to make these ones. So you want to use the teal colored frosting. We're just going to pipe these in a bulb and they can be a little bit frilly if you like. They don't have to be perfect. Next, we're going to be using a closed star tip to pipe some of that pink orange on top. It's going to kind of look like a flower. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can look frilly. And to finish this one off, we're going to pipe some white dots using some white buttercream. And that is our bulb cactus. The next one we're going to be making is kind of similar to the last one. It's going to be a stack of little bulbs. So we're going to be using the lime green colored frosting to make this one. And we're going to be using a smaller French tip to pipe these ones. So we're going to start at the bottom, make a tall bulb, and that's going to act as a guide to pipe around little bulbs. Now you just want to go around that, go up again on another layer, and then finish at the top. And we're going to be using a small round tip with some white frosting to pipe some little spikes on top of that one. And that is our little bulb cactus. The next one we'll be piping is kind of like a tall cactus. I really love these because they look kind of cartoonish. So this one is really simple. We're going to be using a small French star tip, and you want to get these as high as you can. Go slow because you don't want these to lean over. Once you've got those piped, we're going to be using a small round tip to frost a little bit of pink frosting on top as the flower. Now this next one, we're going to be using a little bit of Rice Krispie treats to make. So you want to roll up some Rice Krispie treats in your hand. You want to make sure you oil your hands because they're quite sticky. Now you want to make this into a small log shape. You're going to pipe a little bit of buttercream frosting underneath that, and you're going to stick it to your baking paper on your tray. We're going to be using some lime green frosting for this and our small French tip to frost lines starting at the bottom, working our way up to the top. Now you want to go around the whole cactus to finish it off, and then we're going to add some small white dot spikes. The next one we're going to be making is kind of like a flatter, spiky bush. That's what I'd like to call it. We're going to be using our purple frosting for this one, and we're going to be using a large leaf tip. So you want to start at the bottom and just kind of work your way up to the top. The last one we'll be making is very similar to our large cactus. We'll just be making smaller versions of that. So we'll be using some Rice Krispie treat balls, and we'll be using that small French star tip as well. Then we're going to add a pink orange flower on top. And to finish that one off, you want to add some white spikes. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so our cactuses are done. I just can't stop looking at these guys. They look absolutely gorgeous. We're gonna pop these in the fridge, get them nice and chilled, because to be able to put them on the cake and handle them, you can't have soft buttercream. So we're gonna pop them in the fridge for at least an hour, and then they're ready to use for the cake. So while those are chilling, let's move on to decorating the cake. For this cake, we're going to be doing a striped effect. We're going to have white buttercream and orange buttercream. So let's color our orange buttercream. So we're going to add some pink and yellow food gel in there. It's going to kind of give us a pink orange color. We're going to whisk that up using a hand mixer. You can use a stand mixer if you like. Once it's mixed nice and evenly, make sure you scrape down the bowl at least once. You want to pop this into a large piping bag, and you want to have your white frosting in a piping bag as well. We're going to start off with our terracotta color at the bottom, and we're just going to pipe a line of that all the way around the bottom of the cake. Once you've finished that, you're going to pipe some white frosting directly on top of it. Now, when you're doing that, make sure that there's no gap, so be careful when you're piping it. Once you've gotten to the top, you want to add some more frosting on the top of the cake. You're going to use a small offset spatula to spread that around as evenly as you can. Don't worry about it being perfect, because we're going to come back to it later. Now I'm using a cake scraper or a bench scraper to go around the cake and scrape off the excess frosting. You want to make sure when you're holding the cake scraper that you're holding it straight and not on an angle. Once you've gone around the cake enough times and it's looking nice and clean, you're going to scrape the excess frosting on the top and smoothen the top as well. And that is our frosting done. Now, to make our teal white chocolate ganache, we're going to be adding some white chocolate to a large microwave safe bowl. We're going to add some cream in there as well and some butter. We're going to pop this in the microwave for about 20 seconds at a time, mixing each time until it's smooth. Now, once you've got it nice and smooth, you're going to add 1 drop of that teal food gel in there. You want to mix that until it's well combined, and that is our chocolate ganache. Next, we're going to add our green ganache drizzle around our cake. So I've popped mine into a piping bag, and I'm just going to drizzle it around the cake. Now that our green drizzle is done, we're going to add our cute little cactuses on top of our cake to finish it off. I think that is as many as I want to put on there, guys. Now, this succulent garden cake is ready for Mother's Day or pretty much any time of the year. I just can't get over how gorgeous this looks. I don't actually want to cut into it, but for you guys, I'm going to cut into it and I'm going to give it a taste. Now that is a gorgeous, succulent garden cake. I don't know where to actually take cake from. Maybe I'll take a little bit of succulent and cake. Guys, you have to give this cake a go. It is so moist. There's the beautiful, delicious raspberry buttercream in the middle. The succulents just taste like buttercream, but they look so pretty. If you make this cake for your mum this Mother's Day, you are gonna become her favorite child. Okay guys, so that was my cactus garden cake. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you wanna see more of these kinds of videos, please let me know in the comments down below. Which cake or design, what do you want to see me make on this channel next? If you want to grab the recipe for this cactus garden cake, you'll find it on my website, thescranline.com. Link for that is in the box below. If you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, welcome. I upload 2 new videos a week for you guys, so make sure you hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with all of the latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.